Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Blast the Process 4. We are nearing the end of the Sonic block, but it isn't really a Sonic block if we don't have Sonic 06, right? So we have Sonic 06, Sonic Story, no MSG, with Flubbler. Take it away, friend.
Alright everybody, what's up? My name is Flubbler, and I am currently second place for Sonic no MSG. I'm going to be running this for Blast the Process today, and along with me I have former top 3 Sonic no MSG runner, Focus Sight, so why don't you introduce yourself?
Thank you for showing the mortality of all of us in speedrunning. I used to be top 3, now I'm 9th. Hello everyone. Now I'm Focus Sight. I was the Sonic 06 runner at AGDQ this past AGDQ, and you may have seen me be a little 14-year-old fast telekinesis boy. Yeah, Flubbler here is going to give a great show, honestly. I have the utmost faith that Flubber's going to do great. We're going to be doing Sonic Story no mission select glitch, or no MSG for short. We will explain what that means about 10 minutes into the run. I don't like to clutter this beginning part with that, so we'll explain it as we go, because of course we have the time to do so. But yeah, anyways, Flubbler, whenever you're ready, we're happy to, have you go. This is going to be a great run now, everyone. So
right.
Keep your eyes peeled.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Alright, so a few things I want to mention about this speedrun before we start getting into some of the stages. So, believe it or not, it's actually surprisingly consistent. Little to no RNG later, and also it has variable loads, which basically differs from either fast loads or slow loads. Now, currently, as of right now, we are on slow loads, so basically we're going to be losing 30 seconds because fast loads save actually 30 seconds over the slow loads, so.
As for fast loads, there really isn't any consistent method to get fast loads. Yeah. We say fast loads. The fact is that this is only 360 release of the game. The 360 release of Sonic 06 is by far the most efficient release for many reasons. If you've ever played the PS3 version, you'd know how much of a, just a hellish landscape it is. Because not only on 360, you can what's called install the game to your console, so a full 5.2 gigabytes of content, and that saves about 5 to 10 seconds per each load, compared to the base load on disc, and also the PS3 version, which can't load the game at all, or download the game at all. So on 360, on RTA, you basically have a 10-minute improvement alone from loads. And yet the loads are still about a fourth of the run. It's fun, and just miraculously at times, the game is like, okay, you're playing as Sonic or Shadow. It doesn't seem to happen as Silver, oddly. But as Sonic or Shadow, it's just like, okay, you've been playing the game for like X amount of time. Congratulations, you get faster loads that save you 30 seconds in the entire run, which is insane. And so we're trying to actually work out a loadless timer for this game at the moment, which will be interesting to see.
Yeah. Alright, so, what we did basically with Mission 1 is just go through some rings and,
Superman 64, our way to victory.
Superman 64, yeah, pretty much. And so after Mission 1, what we're going to be doing is buying the Light Dash, which we use to get over to Wave Ocean. But it is actually possible to skip having to do the Light Dash, but it is very, very RNG. And
it involves a young man, a barrel, a bad physics engine, and a whole lot of hope. It's all you need for that, and it's possible. Not worth it possible, but it's possible. You basically talk to that young man over there, the one with the yellow exclamation point above his head, and get him so that he launches you from a barrel over to the Wave Ocean mirror. So that's the thing you can do in this very much a video game.
Alright, so I'm going to be attempting a Wave Ocean skip called Cave Skip first, and then I'm going to be doing the other setup, so.
Let's go, Flubbler. Let's go. Come on. You can do this.
We could try it again. Here, I'm gonna give this another shot.
Ooh,
oh, right, you missed it.
Get it?
It's very, very difficult. So,
it is super difficult.
Yeah. Really?
Okay, so to the 360 version of Sonic 06, because as you can see, these loops have homing attack beacons. Essentially a loop launch, as you'll hopefully see set up just here in an earlier way. This was the previous strat, and it's more consistent.
No.
Oh.
Oh no.
Yeah, so Wave Ocean is pretty much the gatekeeper
Yeah,
of the
this
story.
is like a reset city.
It is essentially where the run goes to die, and it's the first stage, so, you know, it's fun. But yeah, a loop launch is essentially a perpetuated homing attack, or what we call a whiff. Essentially, if you miss a homing... Oh my god, Flubbler.
No!
This luck isn't great for you, is it?
I can't believe this.
Yeah, so you kind of need to do Wave Ocean skip in order to actually, like, get through this.
There we go. We're good.
Okay, nice.
That took a while.
Yeah, so Wave Ocean is not a very fun stage to start off with because of that trick.
Very much so.
Wave Ocean is really the arbiter of the very beginning of the run, but it gets more fun than this, I promise. We basically start off by doing that trick because essentially a loop launch is a whiff. A whiff is essentially a perpetuated homing attack. We essentially aim ourselves in such a way that we avoid the actual original trigger, and the game's just like, well, you haven't stopped homing attacking, you haven't obviously reached anything, go into space. That's essentially how the game's programming works, but effectively it will stop as soon as you hit another piece of geometry. Once you hit that piece of geometry, the game is like, okay, your homing attack is ended. What Flubbler was originally trying to do with Cave Skip was get to the very end of very start of the spring section, which is really difficult because you actually need to get a loop launch that goes into collision. Also here, lovely flight manipulation by Flubbler here, as his best character, Tails.
It's faster to hit the trigger than to hit the switch. So.
Yeah, so normally there's a switch you hit up there to get the animation to get Sonic to be thrown onto the gate area by the Orca. You can just fly there as Tails. Because as Tails, if you hold the A button, you're going to hit a ceiling, but if you let go right before you hit that ceiling, you'll actually you'll fly for a bit longer, and then you can reset the ceiling lower, which means you actually can fly for much, much longer. Anyways, now we're at a Mach speed, or super speed stage, as the manual calls it. Don't ever go by the manual names. Flubbler, would you like to explain some of the mechanics of the Mach speed?
There's three different speeds you can have in Mach speed. There's speed 1, which is basically where Sonic has a T-pose position, and you use
T-pose and ultra T-pose.
Slow speed. Speed 2 is where you hold up on the stick after a light dash, and then speed 3 is without holding a direction on a light dash. So, yeah. And by the way, the reason why I'm here was to not S-rank, so I can skip a medal screen, and we did miss the jump, unfortunately, after the ramp, so we are going to be losing a few seconds, but 208 is still a pretty decent time for no cave skip.
Yeah, and considering the amount... the thing is, Sonic's story is actually quite generous with lives compared to all the other stories in Sonic 06.
Yeah.
Like, Silver's story, you might get 1 life in the actual route, and that's arguably the most inconsistent story out there. Shadow's story gives you, by the end, about 10 total, so you get like 5 lives. Sonic will give you like 15 or 20. The game is just super generous with Sonic's story compared to other stories for no reason in particular, but the reason why we're mentioning speeds in Mach speed, this is because the control stick itself enforces a speed cap. Effectively, the control stick is like, okay, you can only go at this speed at this set moment. The light dash itself actually gives you a higher speed than the control stick can allow. So you basically are giving hope to the rings themselves and letting them guide you for most of the time in Mach speeds.
Yeah.
Let's see what we can get here. So normally you're supposed to talk to a girl up there, up on like on a side, then reload back into the hub world. Instead, oh, that's nice. 3-1-1. Good one, Flubbler.
That was 3? I thought
so instead, you do these frame-perfect homing attacks. Effectively, if you homing attack on the ground, at the frame right before you normally land, your homing attack speed will be converted to regular walking speed. And at that point, the game is like, if you have enough speed, and the collision's right, and the geometry's cool, you can clip through pretty much anything. And doing this essentially skips a load screen and a load back into the hub world.
Alright.
Anyways, dog. Flubbler,
Yeah.
dog.
I'm scared.
Okay,
this boss is very, very interesting because it's like the only instance of RNG beside like Iblis in this category. And basically what that RNG is whatever he does at the beginning of the stage.
You got very good luck here, though.
Almost 26. Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yo, that's great, Flubbler. Congrats.
It's a 27.0.
Wow.
But yeah, so Excerpt has like many different kinds of things he could do in the beginning. He could either run right away, which is not what you want. He could turn around right away left, which is not what you want. And optimally, you want him to sniff the ground or to briefly just stand there and yeah.
Or turn right.
Or turn
right
right
actually is faster if you can get it properly.
And you also can't avoid the S rank on this stage either, so.
Yeah. That was it. That was a really good serve clips and serve. Congrats, Flub.
Yeah. Alright. Coming up now is Dusty Desert. This stage is basically, in short, a mashing simulator. You mash your way through
this is the demo of Shadow Story, everyone. If you want the full experience of mashing, just make sure to play Shadow Story for 5 months straight, like Gordon has. And then you'll be much better.
Alright, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using Police, and we're going
Because love or something. Plot.
Yeah, I don't know how
it doesn't make sense in any sense. And we're going to loop... Flubbler, that was so quick! That was so quick!
Oh, we might not make it. Ooh, we barely made it.
Yeah, that was so quick, Flubbler. So basically, remember the loop launch I mentioned earlier in Wave Ocean? We essentially can do that same thing unbuffered on that area. You need to make sure you're in the right position, otherwise you're actually going to hit the loop again. But Flubbler did that so smoothly.
Yeah.
There is another loop launch that we call Shower Loop Launch in here, which essentially can get you from the loops that were just right over there to one of the jump panels here. But it is so precise that it's not worth going for. Note that Flubbler has hit the rings at the very end. He hit an enemy at the very end to lose his rings. This is because in Sonic 06, an S rank takes 5.5 additional seconds in order to actually, because of the medal animation, the gold medal animation at the end of the stage. So if you can lose an S rank, i.e. lose your rings, because rings often give you big S ranks in this game. If you can lose your your rings or anything that gives you an S rank in less than 5.5 seconds, bam, time save RTA.
Alright. So, this next coming boss is probably the most infamous.
Psychokinetic boy.
This is probably the most infamous boss in the entire game. Silver the Hedgehog is very, very, very notorious for how it
and do you know one thing,
casual
Flubbler?
Players.
This is possibly the most varied and surprisingly easy boss in this run.
Yeah, and basically. Let me finish the boss first.
No worries, I can explain it then, if you want to finish the boss.
Yeah.
So originally we had a strat here that was consistently give you a 25-6-3-3. That was super consistent.
Oh, we missed the frame perfect spin. What I tried doing there is...
Are you crazy for doing that?
In order to save the time,
you still have rings.
I tried to go for frame perfect spin.
Are you okay, though? Can you make it?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You can still make it. Okay, cool.
I'm fine. This happened in practice, too, so...
Yeah, I should probably explain everything that we've done in this boss. So, originally in this boss, you would basically... The strat we would use, that would get you a 25-6-3-3, would be one where Silver... You basically abuse some of Silver's AI. He does a teleport dash if you're really far away from him, and during that teleport dash, he's vulnerable. And so we would just basically homing attack forward, hit him, go back, let the homing attack happen, the teleport dash happen, he's vulnerable, homing attack him, do that again constantly, you'll always get a 25-6-3-3. Then Nick, who's another speedrunner, he's the current world record holder for this category, he found a method that involves spin dashing underneath as he jumps up to do the teleport dash, that got him, at best, a 23. And then I came in sort of crazy going like, well, what if we do this? And now we set up basically objects in front of Silver while standing a distance in between him grabbing you and him teleport dashing objects. He is instantaneously vulnerable. Oh no, Galliena! Oh no! Oh,
I always do
funny.
that in marathons. But yeah.
But effectively, yeah. Now we can get up to 21s on that silver boss by doing that method.
As 06 tradition, please guess who's the captain times in the chat.
1399. It's beneath 2 seconds often, everyone, and the frames in 06 are ending with 16, 33, 49, 66, 83, and 00 or 99. I'm gonna say 1399 again.
1249. 1449. Okay.
Okay.
So Gordon was the closest.
Gordon was the closest, yeah. 136. I gave 1399. Wait.
So you were too late. You were way too late.
Yeah, I gave 1399 Flub, so technically
Yeah.
I won, I guess. I have guessed your time twice.
Yeah, he actually guessed my time when he was on my stream once, and yeah.
Yeah, it's so hype when you do it, but yeah. So
and
I
Gordon
mentioned.
also guessed my time as well.
Yeah.
So,
We should mention what MSG is at this point, though.
Okay, so as I am the current world record over 90%, I should explain. All right, so what MSG is, basically what you do is you homing attack Galena, who
For Sonic Story.
Yeah, for Sonic Story, and you need to basically homing attack her all the way to the water's edge of the river, and when you do that, you're able to talk to her and also activate the yes or no text box as you die. And so when you do that,
Don't activate. You pop it up. That's really important. Do not activate it, because if you activate it as you die, your new spawn point will be below the realm of the earth, and you'll just constantly die.
Yeah. And
It's a really ancient flub because essentially mission select which was found in 2014 by Darkspine Sonic.
Yeah.
And it's effectively keeping the yes no text box on screen until you enter another mission, usually a story-based mission, because those don't actually require you to have yes no on it. And essentially that then resets or changes your return position once you end the mission, either by dying or by any form of completion of the mission. Except I think quit mission will give you that error, because what happens is the game it expects you to enter back into a hub world or act trial. It never has you actually enter into a mission from another mission. And so when it does that, the game has a failsafe, which is just the credits. So effectively, the any percent of this game is just the credits. Is just warped to the credits using that glitch. And normally in Sonic Story, you do that by hitting Galena a lot. You homing attack her and abuse her animations to make her fall back constantly onto the wall, and then you die. And then you talk to the captain, you enter her mission, exit her mission, finish the captain mission. Game just loads directly into the credits.
Yeah. And you can beat the game in under 14 minutes with that method, so yeah.
You can also break the game fully, give you an unusable save file by doing both Sonic Story, MSG or any percent, and Silver Story any percent in the same save file, and you will never be able to unlock Shadow.
Yeah, and we dubbed that category as broken percent. Silver actually ran that at the Meme-a-thon about a month ago. So.
Yeah, that was fun. It was good. It was fun. I don't know how that got taken serious.
Yeah, pretty much. Although DSS did run it at AGDQ 2014, so. Yeah.
That's because they asked him to do it on very short notice.
So yeah.
They were literally like, "Oh, you found this cool trick. Do you want to show it off?" And so he just made a category that didn't exist.
Yeah, it was a good watch.
Yeah, we have missions here, and unfortunately, unlike pretty much all the other stories, Sonic Story seems to be a bit more,
yeah,
I guess,
stubborn with like skipping missions.
Yeah, you can't actually skip most of the missions. You can't skip any of them except Mission 1. Mission 1's the only one that's technically skippable, by any means in the actual
almost
run.
17. Wow.
So, like in Silver Story, you actually skip 5 of the normally 7 required missions. In Shadow Story, you skip 1 of the required 2, and in Sonic Story, you can't skip any of them. Or in the route we actually take, you don't skip any of them. Which is why we have to go through all these combat missions. But in terms of combat, we actually bought an item called the Anti-Gravity. This is a slide move, very useful for getting enemies on the ground. They're really close by, because essentially you have invulnerability, and it keeps on hitting any like one-shot enemies. This is super useful for instance, the little white robots that we saw in Mission 11 and Mission 12. But essentially, for now, we use a combination of spin dashes, homing attacks, and anti-gravity.
Right, okay, so this next stage coming up here is Vitagropolis. Most of the stage relies on using the snowboard here, but later in the second section, we're going to be doing a few clips and basically beating the stage in almost under a minute, so.
Cool. Yeah, it's very neat. So basically, the reason why that works, this sort of jump, the speed cap glitch works, is because in Sonic 06, for the snowboard sections, the game basically gives you a huge speed boost for jumps. But if you register the jump as being incomplete, like you essentially clip it out early or do it in a wrong area, like Flubbler just did now, you're effectively going to get that the base movement speed of your board is now converted. The jump speed, the additional jump speed that was given, is now your base board speed. Because you never finish the jump, the game is like, well, finish the jump, come on, you know, jump. So if you jump while you're in this, you're actually going to lose the speed boost. So don't jump is important as well. But also, you need to make sure you time that sort of manipulation. 54!
0.2.
Low 54. That's really good, Flubbler.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. 53 is actually possible, but it's only been hit by Sharia, which is a really talented Japanese
Wishing everyone should probably wish the best to Sharu. He's currently dealing with a medical condition.
He's in the hospital right now, so yeah.
He's a really good IL runner for Sonic Story. Yo, that laser clip though.
Yo,
okay,
let's go. 110.
Yo, that's super good. Okay, Flubbler. Okay, so what do we want to explain there?
Okay, so what we basically did is we used rocks to we used rocks to basically launch ourselves all the way up to the
It's not consistent at all.
Yeah.
It's not consistent at all.
It's not consistent at all. It's pretty much IO only.
Try.
And also, yeah, I gold splitted as well.
Congrats on that gold. That was really good. That's excellent.
54,
but let me just explain a few
now.
things. I should probably explain a few things there, because there's a lot that just happened that doesn't make any sense. That's going to be 06 for the most part, everyone. You get, like, your comforting load screens, and then you get a bunch of stuff you just... doesn't make any sense, and that's this game. But, effectively, the geometry there is a bit odd in that a few different bits of that invisible wall you can just homing attack through, because the speed in the homing attack is fast enough. The rock launch that we do, we're actually going to do that later in the run as well, which is for a specific boss. That was so close. I was so close to failing that the one and only speed up found by DSS. Same mechanic as Shadow Speed in One Acropolis. You effectively.
Okay. I thought we were gonna hit the fire pillar. That was really close.
So basically, in snowboarding sections, you basically want to incomplete jumps so that you can get really fast. But yeah, rock launches are all physics engine dependent. They're not random, but they're pretty difficult to get consistently. Effectively, you need to kick at a certain point in time where the game is like, okay, it will rotate the rock this way at this time. If you accidentally fall off slightly early, you have to do something different. If you stay on, but then you stay on at the wrong spot, it can then despawn, and so it's very annoying. But anyways, what we just had there was a bit of a weird thing. We actually don't know why that works really. The rail, what do we call it?
The rail shootback.
Sorry?
Rail shootback.
Shootback, yeah, that's a good name for it. Rail shootback. So the leading theory currently is that if you basically error your position, the game puts you at the middle of a rail. The difficulty with that is that one time I have gotten a rail there, a shootback there, that actually sent me further down than that rail. It shot me way further into the stage. So we're not too sure why it works. It's not quite a whiff. It's not a whiff. It's weird. It's kind of lovely how even 14 years after this game's release, we're just like, I guess this is why it works. You know?
Yeah.
But it's really cool because you don't have to fall and then homing attack a rail. Now we can just get to rail.
This is a really good Crisis City actually so far.
Yeah. So the automation sometimes can be your friend.
There's a lot of automated sections in this stage as well.
Yeah.
In general. 204. That's good.
And so essentially the early game for Sonic Story is a lot of just really good movement, really fine, tight movement. We should have mentioned this much earlier, Flubbler. Something really important. Those of you who played Sonic 06 can know that you cannot normally jump out of a spin dash.
Yeah.
So spin dash canceling is super important in this game. What that is essentially hold the X button. If you hold the X button, Sonic will immediately stop spin dashing and go into a run. So in order to stop and jump out of it early, we spin dash, and then we hold X and then press A, or hold A, to basically jump out of it.
Since your own trick is coming up, why don't you explain your own trick right here?
I guess this is my own trick. Okay, sure. I own this trick. It's called Focus Pipe, because there are 3 different naming conventions in this game for tricks. 1, wrong. I'll explain that later. 2, person object. That's my favorite one. So Focus Pipe, White Pole, Shadow Rope. It's just person object.
The Nick,
and then the third one is sensible. But as I was saying, so that pipe there, it basically skips a normally required 3 enemy homing attack chain, which is faster to homing attack, fall, and then homing attack again than to homing attack 4 times. So it's a slight improvement of like 0.5 seconds. I don't know why you had me mention it other than focus pipe, but you know, it's like white pole. We just love the name. It's a good thing to have.
Yeah.
But if Instant Select Glitch was done, we would already have finished this run. So this essentially is I guess you could say it's all stages, but it's not. I mean, in Sonic's story, I guess it is. But like, it essentially means we don't get a credit skip. It means we have to finish most of the game. Although, for instance, in Silver's story, for instance, no MSG still skips so much stuff that it doesn't really, you know, impact much of anything. Very good Crisis City there. Also, oh, that time is lovely. That time is the loveliest time I've ever seen in my entire life.
What? 322,
322, 111. Why is that such a nice time,
Why is that
Flubbler?
so funny?
It's just lovely. It's beautiful. I've never seen someone get a 111 frame, actually, either, so that means lag reared its ugly head.
Yeah, probably.
But still, that's a beautiful time. You have to see how beautiful it is, Flubbler. But anyways, yeah, so that is the second Mach speed, what am I saying? And arguably the most infamous. Those cars, I was about to say those tornadoes, they carry cars. Those cars definitely can get in the wrong way sometimes, because if you get hit, you're going to get back to speed 1. And so you actually want to get hit at the end to avoid an S rank, but the issue with that is that you don't want to get hit too much throughout the stage, because then you're going to get a very slow Mach speed. So you need to be able to balance just good luck and movement. Clench jump right here, and nice done.
Oh yeah, Clench Jump, I'd like to mention, was named by Triple Agent, who was a very, very, very good runner back many eons ago, and he
still runs. I don't know why you're saying this like he's not anymore, like he's disappeared.
Well,
he's himself not on now loading speed. What does that mean, Flubbler?
So,
many eons ago, many eons ago, there used to be a boy named Liam. He was pretty cool. But no, so Flubbler just right then, a really important thing to mention actually, is...
Lava Dash. Lava Dash.
Yeah, Lava Dash. There we go, you got the name now. Lava Dash. So, basically, a lot of Flame Core's first section involves, essentially, invincibility frames, because a lot of the floor is literally lava, and so you get hit if you actually go on it, and the best thing to do is just to get hit by something. Or nothing in that case. The strat there is to hit the bird normally, but it can be kind of hard to hit that bird.
Oh, we got puffed. Oh.
What?
We got Coco puffed.
Oh no, there's gotta be a backup, right?
Okay, if we get, No, we got Coco puffed on the bridge.
Oh, Flubbler.
Oh no.
How far back are you now?
I didn't get the checkpoint.
The start of the stage.
We have to do the whole stage
Oh boy, that's not good.
Oh my god. Well,
this
that's
is the
all
risk you play
RNG,
with
by
playing...
the way. So,
okay, so
yeah.
Nice. Wait, I like that synchronization. So those Cocoa Puffs, as we call them, they are random, and they can really screw up a run. The worst part is you can get hit in midair at the very end. You can get hit in midair at the very end and lose all the progress you've made during the automated section at the very, very end of the stage. Which is really unfortunate. As Sonic and Shadow, you have no recovery. As Silver, you technically do have recovery. You can hover back. But either way, it sucks to get sniped at any point there.
And it's like really rare too, so...
And the strat, if you didn't notice, every single strat that Flubbler did, essentially the highest level strats of Flame Core, skips every single checkpoint. So there is literally no way to do this stage like super fast without risking exactly what happened.
No, I died again!
Flubbler, it's okay.
Okay,
Flubbler,
we got the checkpoint this time, okay.
Flubbler, it's okay. Just breathe.
It's good, it's good, it's good.
This is what 06 can do sometimes, though. This is my least favorite stage in the entire game. 8 years of experience running this game, this stage is terrible in every single story. In Sonic's story, there's a lot of really, really annoying movement, as you can see from here. In Silver's story, it's arguably one of the most infamously difficult stages in the entire game. And Flame Core as a speedrun still has that, honestly. Shadow's story just has a lot of chaos snaps, which are kind of frustrating to deal with at times. Yeah, don't worry, Flubbler. We're all still rooting for you.
Yeah.
You're still gonna get a really good time, honestly.
Okay. I just didn't get lucky. I didn't have
Yeah,
to.
it's all good.
It's all down to luck after all.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully we can show off the actual... Nope. Okay, never mind.
Alright, we're good. Alright.
Yeah, it's can be very frustrating, the stage.
Yeah, very much so.
But as I was mentioning a little bit earlier, essentially, I should probably mention this right now. If you're looking into running Sonic 06, Sonic Story is pretty much the easiest one to start off with.
Yeah.
So Flubbler, hopefully not regretfully, is running without a save file. So that's actually the only story unlocked throughout Sonic Story. And this basically skips the save, don't save text that you normally get from playing the game. So running without a save saves about 30 seconds off of not, but the obvious difficulty is if you accidentally hit quit, or if you die, game over, it's the end of the run. You literally have to start up.
For finding that waterfall jump that I just did.
Yeah, that's a really nice strat. You basically use the geometry of the lava sort of waterfall there to actually get more height than you normally could from your jump, and skip that entire section. Also, I'm very sorry for the lack of contrast in this next part. Even in, on TVs, this section is hard to navigate. But this is known as Knuckles Skip, which it skips Sonic and finishes as Knuckles. This is what I mean when I say one of the categories of naming tricks in this game is wrong, because that doesn't make any sense. But essentially what we do here is we clip out by using the jump that Knuckles has, and then we finish the stage as him, which gives something called a breakout. Breakouts are kind of weird in this game, in that they happen for reasons that we still aren't too sure about. Effectively, sometimes it can occur because you skipped a decent part of the stage, sometimes it occurs because you didn't load in the final character's animation, but it's never consistent. There's not been a theory fully worked out about why breakouts happen. But the coolest thing is it's kind of reminiscent of the classic Sonic games in that regard. If any of you have played the classic Sonic games, it's like how you can get back onto the results screen after you're finished a section. Kind of cool. Now we have Iblis. Oh, Phase 2. Yeah. For all you number counters in the stage, remember the first number in this story is 2.
Yeah, because 1 and 3 you do in silver.
Yeah, but anyways, Flubbler, would you like to explain the trick here?
And also Shadow, only, as well.
Yeah, you face Phase 2 in Shadow and Sonic, but Flubbler, would you like to explain Fast Iblis?
Alright, so Fast Iblis, what you normally have to do is you have to wait for the platforms to reach the purple, things or whatever, but what we're going to be doing is basically spin kicking his eye when he goes on the platform, like so, and there we go, and that saves 10 seconds over doing...
Overall.
Yeah.
So that one hit saves about 3.
And this is the other instance of RNG, and the RNG can't actually wreck you as bad as Surb.
Platform there with the rings. If it spawns, you save 2 seconds. If it doesn't spawn, you lose 2 seconds. I don't know how they figured this out. I don't know how you guys figured it out, really. It's kind of insane to even think that's actually a thing you could have based it off of. But effectively what happens here is Sonic's spin kick actually the attack actually goes through the platform and hits Iblis in his weak spot, the eye, which actually saves you having to hit the lights. It's actually really cool, and it was derived from a strat in Shadow's story, which basically Shadow has this spinning spin kick, which we'll actually see later with the green gem as Sonic, and it easily went through the bottom of this platform. This might sound risky, but this strat effectively saves 10 seconds, but if you miss it once, it loses anywhere between 30 seconds to 45 seconds. However, it's not as bad as something we call Final Hit. And would you like to explain Final Hit?
Okay, so Final Hit
Please don't go for Final Hit. I'm just asking you.
Okay, Final Hit is pretty ludicrous because what you have to do is you have to, when the platforms drop here, you have to jump up to that middle platform over there, and then when he throws the Cocoa Puffs towards you, you have to jump off that platform and spin dash over to him, and then anti-grab as he's falling down. And
the anti-gravity gives you invincibility frames that allows you to go longer on the lava than you normally could.
While he's going down, and that finishes the boss.
It's 10-second time save, and the risk is the entirety of the boss.
And the run.
Yeah. Basically at that point. But all in all, pretty good for having only one good RNG there.
Yeah,
so.
pretty alright actually, yeah.
Yeah. What I would have done here is actually read stuff from the manual. We actually talked through all that. I think there'll be another point later we can read through the manual. Because the manual in this game is really beautiful, if you don't know. Actually, I might as well read something right now while we're on the results screen. My favorite section is on page 9 in the pause menu section. Press the all caps start button to pause the game and display the capital P pause capital M menu. During the pause, select all caps continue to resume exist the game. Very important that you guys know that you exist the game every time you quit. Not to mention, Shadow works for the capital F federal, capital G government, and Silver can stand on an object and raise. It will allow him to reach higher areas. This manual was proofread, by the way. I'm pretty sure someone at Sega must have at least seen this, hopefully.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of a beautiful thing. Anyways, are you going to try for building clip here,
I'm
Flubbler?
going to try once. We'll see if I get it, and I know where the positioning is now, so... Here, I'm going to try it. I think it's here. Oh, it's really jank. I haven't messed around with it.
Yeah, effectively, you can homing attack and bounce bracelet, and then it stores the new coordinates of the homing attack in your bounce bracelet, because the bounce bracelet basically keeps everything except the vertical position absolutely fine. And so if you homing attack with the right angle, you can actually clip through that building, and that saves about 4 seconds, rather than going around right or left. It's, I think in order, it's clip is fastest, then right, then left.
Yeah.
Now we're in Radical Train,
yeah,
and
Radical Train, pretty much this entire stage involves a train that you have to hit the, make the TNT explode before the train hits the TNT, and...
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, we died.
Yep.
Rip.
Yeah, so essentially...
checkpoints here, so...
Whoop. Yeah, so loop automation in this game is kind of broken.
Yeah.
If you haven't already told
If you're left,
words.
you're done. If you hit the dash pad when you're left, you're pretty much like...
Yeah, we actually use that in Shadow's story, though, to our advantage to skip some of the automation by using the automation. Also, a really cool homing attack chain right there. Essentially, you can just get enough height and then go through. Flubber's going for left side. Cool. That's really tense because it's just basically the math, but it's really tight, that jump.
Yeah.
Sonic's homing attack doesn't really go too far.
Yeah, if it was Shadow, that would be very, very easy. Like,
yeah.
Extremely easy, actually.
Although that being said, I think Shadow and Silver both have different,
But Shadow doesn't go there, believe it or
No,
not.
Shadow does. It's just a different, section. It's a different, actual configuration of the, pulleys.
Of the weights, right?
The pulleys have changed, yeah. The actual pulley system is set up differently in each of the 3 stories. Which is kind of weird, honestly, isn't it?
Yeah, it is very, very weird.
Also, you can explode. You have to save the train from everything except the last explosion. So technically, I guess in this canon, you could say the train exploded anyways.
Yeah.
This is ramp jump, by the way. Ramp skip.
Yeah, ramp skip. It saves 2 seconds. You skip having to go on
do some jump animations by basically getting a really precise jump. The difficulty with jumping in Mach speeds, though, is the fact that in Mach speeds, you actually have no control of your jump after you jump. There is no movement whatsoever. You are locked into that pattern of basically like a bow and arrow.
45.
Hope you live. So Flubbler had to really align really well before he jumped there, and then had to move on the ground slightly left, and then jump again. It's a very tight window, and it's a very well done trick.
Alright. So this next boss that's coming up here is pretty notorious in Sonic no MSG as being a run killer, and also being very kind of luck-based in some cases.
It's the most, it has a lot of variables, I think is a better way to put it. It's not necessarily luck-based, but it kind of is. It's all dependent upon your own position relative to some factors that are kind of non-attributable to you. But effectively, we're going to start off with that rock launch, the similar one we did in White Acropolis. We're going to start off with that. That is the thing we actually require. We need this for the start of this boss. So there's already one bit of very big difficulty there, but you can on the very top left, right, and then slowly kick up, and that will give you a pretty good pattern most of the time.
Yeah.
It can be very finicky, though. And once here, we're going to stand on the side of the edge of Egg Genesis, and once that occurs, we're going to then hit him at a certain point, bounce place it 3 times, and that will essentially always get us right there.
Triple cycle, nice.
You got it?
Yeah.
So basically, triple cycle here means that you actually can finish the boss 3 times in a row from above. Frames to stay on top of the boss longer than we're normally able to.
We missed the other rock launch. So what we could do...
Yeah, so another rock launch can be done at the end there to get the boss early.
We could actually rock launch to one of the little... You see like the little lights that he has? Yeah. When you... Like the little lasers? Yeah. You could...
Yeah, they're the lights. They're the lights.
Okay, when you rock launch up there, those are actually... can cause damage to the Genesis. So you homing attack that pretty much like... Yeah, 3 times, and then... Yeah, you're able to beat the boss in like 50 seconds. But we did not.
Congrats though, Flubbler, that's a really good time for second try. That is amazing, honestly.
Yeah.
Getting triple cycle, the difference between getting and not getting triple cycle is 20 seconds.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, Flubbler, that's amazing. Yeah, so another quick point I want to mention about Egg Genesis. The funniest thing is, a lot of you who probably played the game casually have thought, oh, the orange thing is the weakness, right? That's not the intended weakness in Sonic's story, actually. That's Silver's weakness. That's intended to be the Silver's weakness when Silver fights that boss in his story. You throw missiles at it there. But the devs never actually made it not hit for Sonic, so you can still homing attack it and cause damage. We actually use that. I think a lot of people casually have probably thought, oh, that's the way you're supposed to beat the boss. It's not. You're supposed to get on top as Sonic, and that's how it was designed. Yet they left in that one glaring error, and because of that, you can defeat the boss much easier, I think, than any other sort of, than the normal method, and also is useful for speedrunning anyhow, so.
Alright, so for this stage, what we're going to be trying to do is try to get as least things as possible, in order to prevent a bot hit at the end of...
Flubbler, I misheard that as Elise rings possible. I'm like, what do you mean Elise rings?
At least. The least.
The Elise.
It sounded like I said Elise.
I heard Elise. Elise rings. But,
and
yeah, go on, Flubbler.
I'd also like to mention there's a thing that can happen on the Vine that we refer to as the Thing, where...
The Thing! Yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing. So, we refer to it as a thing, and basically it's a frame-perfect A-press, except the game doesn't reward you for being frame-perfect. It punishes you. And you basically fall to your death, and you have to restart the whole stage, because you can't homing attack it, and you can't go anywhere. So you basically
You're actually stuck in a crevice. You're stuck in a crevice you actually can't escape. It's effectively like the Pit of Doom from Sonic 2, except much worse, and also there's Elise, so it's inherently worse. Oh, whoop.
We don't have to worry about the ring thing anymore, since we lost all our rings, so...
Yeah, that's good, actually. So you actually had too many. We actually want 29 at max by the end of the stage.
Yeah.
To avoid an S rank normally. So what we do here is we do another one of those clips with the anti-gravity. So basically the anti-gravity, I don't even know why it works, to be honest, Flubbler. Do you know why it works, anti-gravity clips?
I'm not sure either.
I think it's because the game tries to set it to like a flat piece of land, and then it's just like, wait, we're vertical now, and it's just like, go back to normal, and then it's just clips you through.
Alright, so we're going to be holding the camera down as we go through this stage because of lag, kind of like GoldenEye, if you've seen any of those runs before.
I cannot believe we've just compared this to GoldenEye.
Because in GoldenEye, you hold the camera down to avoid lag as well.
This game is basically GoldenEye mixed with Super Mario 64 and Ocarina of Time. This game is the best speed game. It's funny thing about that though, in the code, so each of the characters has a labeled from their profile. Essentially, they have it labeled as like the rotation method, so how they actually spin on the dime. Sonic and Shadow has something that's listed as Sonic version 1. Silver actually has what's labeled as input method Mario 64. And I was wondering, wait, why is it called input method Mario 64? That's the actual name of the code for that input method for Silver's rotation. And it's because it works just like Mario 64 and the N64 Zelda games. You actually can rotate on the spot as Silver because you have puzzles and want to go in precise ways, which means technically you could do an ESS position for Silver in this game if you want. I guess. But it's just sort of funny how the devs just called it Mario 64 and pretty much based it exactly off of the N64 games.
Alright, so coming up, this is my stage right here. This is Tales of Devotion. Possibly, in my opinion, the best stage in the entire run. Only because of one reason. The movement is so good, in my opinion, for this stage. Now,
yeah, so this is Flubbler's bread and butter right here. So Flubbler is absolutely a beast at this stage.
And I got Sharu Hut. Let's go.
Oh, yo, this is gonna be an amazing time.
That's the first time that's been shown at a marathon. Because
let's go, Flubbler. This is gonna be a really good Wave Ocean Tails. It looks like a really good pace so far. So basically, as Tails, you don't have a spin dash, but you have flight. White Ball.
Yes, shout out to
White Ball. Oh man, all the person objects we could possibly get into one run. Let's go.
This is really
this is looking really.
What? That's nuts.
This is looking really good.
This is looking 110. Really good. I'm not even joking.
Yeah, let's see where we go with this, because this is really good. Eventually, we use the movement of the dash panels and stuff and store it as Tails, using his flight, and it's really fast. It's like, look at this. Look at him going out of the dash panel there. Oh, he'd go fast. And essentially, we use the same flight manipulation, so getting a new ceiling, essentially.
That's a 111, 234, almost a 110. Wow.
That is less than a second off of IO world record right there, guys.
Exactly.
Less than a second.
That was almost
also another beautiful time. You've had two beautiful times with 322, 111, and now 111, 234. How are you getting such poetic times, Flubbler?
That's a gold split. That's nice.
Another gold?
Yeah, another gold.
2 golds in this run for you, Flubbler. That is incredible.
Yeah. Well, only because this run is kind of dead, and it's not going to
I love... Cronin even mentioned in the chat. Yeah, so it's like, okay, you've just beat this category, this section, like, faster than anyone humanly possibly could in the intended way. B? Do you want a B? You're average? You got a B? Come on. It's a B. It's pretty cool. It's a nice letter of the alphabet.
Okay, so now we're going to be buying, and we're going to be using each of the 3 gems later on throughout the next 15 or so minutes of the game. So
this becomes techie. This is where Sonic goes from pure movement to a lot of gem tech.
Yeah.
Normally for like regular routing, you actually would only buy the blue gem, but because Flubbler is a madman, he's going to be doing a bunch of stuff that doesn't make any sense, and we love him for that. He's going to try some really crazy strats in Kingdom Valley and Aquatic Race. So, to begin though, we have Trial Test of Intelligence, which is Mission 18. And fun fact about this stage originally we had a skip where we bounce braceleted toward the end of the stage and hit the spring that finishes the stage. Through Nick and Flubbler, through just researching glitchless as a category, literally just figured out that it's actually faster to do the stage as intended. To go through all the portals and then skip the final spring to hit a jump panel early. Like, yeah, that. Normally the best time we could get without that with the previous method was like a high 9, and now you can easily get low 8s in runs. That is an incredible Flubbler. That was really solid movement, like, amazing.
Yeah.
Also, yes, you heard right, glitchless. We're finding a category in this game without glitches, we promise. It's a thing.
Alright, so, Mission 19, this pretty notorious stage right here for killing many runs, including myself and along with many people. Now, what happens in this stage actually, if you die, you lose 2 minutes because you have to go through about like 3 loading screens and also like 2 sets of text because he has to tell you that you suck, okay? And then you go back to Hub World, and then you do the mission again, and then you hold up. I gotta focus a little bit. Would you mind explaining the rest? Because
sure. So basically, the reason why this mission is so hard is because you actually are vulnerable in a lot more places than you think you are in this game. Also, nice white bounce. That's another jump panel skip, essentially. We can hit the jump panel down there by bounce braceleting. Yeah, this stage is infamous because you are completely vulnerable in a lot of areas. For instance, if you homing attack and then recover from that homing attack, you can actually get hit sometimes. And Flubbler, you are really worrying me with everything you've done here.
That was very scary.
So essentially, you have to still be fast, but also not be 38 without a red gem, pretty decent. Best I think without a red gem you can get is like a 32, but that is really making sure you're hitting everything right, and that is so insanely difficult to do in any sort of reasonable way in a run. And this is like 45 minutes into the run at this point.
Here we go. I'm just waiting for the chat message.
You guys ever like romance in the chat? You guys like romance? You guys like, you know, love and affection? Have you ever tried to like think about your significant other by going through portals and talking to priests about them? I think that's how dating websites work nowadays, right? I have a little like think that I want to go through a blue portal and meet my significant other on the other side and then talk to a priest to say yes.
Yep, there it is. There it is. There it is. There it is. Right there is the message. Coming from Gordon Ramsay. Yes. I had to do, I mean,
so I should mention that there is no significant difference to either
it's a
portal in
freebie,
this.
basically.
There is no best definitively in this mission because both Triple Agent and I have the tied IL record for this stage using different portals. Completely different ones. I selected Amy, he selected Elise. And so, like, there is no consistency. There is nothing. You can just make it whoever you want. And of course, I think Elise is a bigger meme than Amy. But Amy's a little bit easier to do.
Right, yeah. Because
now I get to
she's right ahead.
really
She's literally
insane stuff. This is arguably where the tech of the gems becomes way more apparent.
Oh yeah, right here.
Blue gem is faster than spin dashing, so we're just gonna be crazy with it.
We're gonna be blue gemming most of the time, except in some certain sections where it's
at the very beginning of Kingdom Valley. I like how you say you were gonna be blue gemming most of the time, and then Kingdom Valley, very start of the section, spin dash.
Nice, we got Charter Rope first try.
Yeah, so Charter Rope is another homing attack sort of phenomena. In that, essentially, the game acts very strangely with what it thinks is close enough to homing attack and what isn't. So sometimes it can be very difficult. Now, very much earlier, I was mentioning how we were mentioning how speeds worked with the spin dashing and you know, with the Mach speed and the speed 1, 2, 3. That actually applies to pretty much any sort of object in Sonic 06, and especially dash panels, which essentially take an input speed and then output it. So if you basically spin dash into a dash panel, and don't hold a direction, you're gonna go faster than if you held a direction. And so we use that at a few places here. Flubber also perfectly got Eagle Skip, which is essentially another early load zone. There's normally an eagle that takes you to that, and then but with a very you can very easily get you can very easily skip through a lot of stuff there.
No, I fell off again. No.
So what we're doing right now is skipping Silver. You might want to just homing attack there, Flub.
Yeah, I honestly.
What we're doing now is skipping Silver. Silver is normally the character you're supposed to finish the section with, and then it switches to Sonic at the very end. But now we can finish Silver's section as Sonic to find Sonic.
Right,
and that is, it's actually it's a really
again.
neat sequence. Break.
Okay, there we go. We got.
Hey, not bad. It's really funny. It's just like, yeah, there's just a zone there that just immediately takes you, even if you're Silver. And I remember seeing Argic's reaction specifically to this. It's the most wonderful thing. They just left in a piece that just says, go to Sonic. It makes no sense. You can hit it very easily as any character. And then you just, like, finish the stage that way.
Alright. So this section, I'd say for sure.
Yeah, Section 3, Kingdom Valley, is arguably one of the hardest, and it begins with door clips. So spin dashing is, with the right angle, is actually fast enough to clip through doors in much the same way. You know, same basis. Right speed, right geometry, right angle, pretty much good.
Alright, so now we're going to be going for a trick called Castle Skip. I'll only go it for a couple times, and if we miss it, then
Yeah, so Castle Skip, would you mind me explaining it, Flub?
Yeah, sure.
So you can concentrate?
Yeah.
Castle Skip was found by a runner called Volcano the Bat in 2014-ish, I think.
18.
And so how it works is, there's essentially this eagle here that's around the spring area, that you can still homing attack. It goes in a circle. It's kind of random. It doesn't even take you anywhere. It's just here's circle. You then have to destroy...
Nice, we got it! Let's go.
Let's go. But it basically, the jump panels themselves are actually separate to the surrounding collision themselves. In doing so, we skipped one of the largest sections of automation in the entire game, pretty much. The automation there takes like 15 seconds. And so skipping that saves 8, but only on first try. So essentially, Flubbler did a very difficult homing attack over to the Eagle, and then used the green gem, which is this sort of spin kick that you can trigger midair to destroy a tower, jump over to some point where the jump panel is, and skip all that. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, pretty much. It's very ludicrous.
Congrats, Flubbler. You just won epic gamer points.
327, by the way. Because max speed is free. This is the easiest.
Yeah, oh, this is a very good. So the final one there actually also involves the speed cap issue.
This would have molded if I didn't have the pillar death, probably. So
yeah,
that's kind of
still though, this is amazing. So what Flubbler was doing there for a little bit at the very beginning to get into this door that takes you to the max speed is another instance of speed cap manipulation. Essentially, you can spin dash in and then blue gem as you bonk. Nice silver medal grab, by the way. You can blue gem as you bonk, and that basically pushes you through the door and hits the trigger earlier than you could normally. If you fail at like second try, though, you should just hit the enemies at that point. They don't take too long, but obviously it's faster to just go spin dash bonk, game end. We also still use speed 3 in this stage, even though it might not look like it. It's kind of hard to see where it's used because oftentimes you have to like actually turn for your jumps, but it's still useful on certain places. This is a wonderful... Are you going to gold again, you think?
Because of the pillars, no, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah, unfortunately.
But I'm still saving time over PV.
This is also, like, one of the few stages where you don't have to care about rings because the time bonus is so comically low. Like, the time bonus, you've literally done some of the stupidest strats I've seen and did them well. And you're like, the game's just like, B. You deserve B, Fluffler, because your name has a B in it twice.
Yeah.
You've gotten 2 deserved Bs from stages you've just done insanely well.
So, I mean, yeah.
Seriously, Flubbler, this is absolutely one of the best Sonic story runs I've seen in ages.
Really?
Yeah.
If
it wasn't for Flamecore, this would be like really good.
It can't
like,
even sub one anymore, and
it's still good, man. It's still good. I'm really proud of you.
All right.
For reference,
focus. Can you tell the story of what happened in Aquatic Base in practice when we were doing this before the run?
Oh yeah, you got a gold in practice for this.
Yes,
because you were absolutely an epic gamer, as we like to call. You were insane. Let's hope this is the most tech-heavy stage in the entire run. But before we can get to Aquatic Base, we have to do something called bells. So the bells, you have to hit 3 of them within about, I think, 240 seconds. Otherwise, it won't open Aquatic Base.
Yeah.
And so we get the first bell is the one that's closest to Lord Regis. The second one is over here. The third one is all the way back at the very beginning where we had the first, right where we spawned in when we originally started the game. Before then, we're going to buy 2 gems, the Sky Gem and the White Gem. The Sky Gem has been always used. The White Gem is actually a new addition. It was a completely useless gem before, but now it has actual use thanks to pretty much as Flubbler described in the practice commentary.
No, we can't gold it anymore. I went for the thing and I missed it.
Oh, at least hey, it's okay.
I'll
it's okay. You can still go back. You can still go back to the bell. It's okay though.
It's cool, yeah. But this is probably one of the reasons why some people, when they run this, they actually have a separate bell split.
Yeah, but it's hard to have a split for that. I might actually add that, to be honest, but...
I accidentally split because I thought I had a bell split.
Unsplit. You can hit unsplit, right?
Yeah. I accidentally split because I
Yeah, so the Sky Gem essentially acts sort of like as a launch pendant. You essentially throw it, and it acts as an object, and whenever it hits some sort of collision, it then takes you really fast speed to that object. The White Gem is just a buffered homing attack, essentially, or sorry, a homing smash. It's slightly longer than a homing attack, which means you can actually do those serve clip sort of frame-perfect tricks just by jumping and pressing RT. It's much easier and a bit more generous, because it actually, well, it's not frame-perfect for the White Gem, because it actually has like a range of values where it'll work, which is really quite nice, and it allows you to do those clips really quickly. The only difficulty is gem switching. So I don't think we've ever explained how gem switching works yet, but essentially, you guys love the 360 D-pad. Imagine having to go back and forth really quick on it. That's what this is.
Yeah,
That's what all the gem
and
menuing is, and it's
sometimes
really
when
frustrating.
you're just grinding this stage in ILs, oh my god, you could get some really bad hand pain from this.
Oh yeah, this is Cramp City, but it's really necessary.
55,
this
that's
is a
good.
great first section. White gem for no reason. Woo! Let's go white gem just for being cool.
Yeah,
55 for a section is really good though.
Yeah. Imagine I get a better time than I did in practice, because this is still like the same.
You're gonna get a good aquatic base. I feel it just all depends on this coming
Knuckle
up,
skip.
which is known as knuckle skip. This is actually really new, like in the
yeah,
past
really
few
new, and
weeks
it was
new.
brought to the attention as a result of the findings of white gem.
Yeah, white gem made it more feasible. So essentially, normally in this stage, you play as Knuckles in a section, and then we normally just glided through because we thought it was slower to try to find a skip as Sonic, plus there were death planes in really unfortunate locations. But now, we figured out if you throw the Sky Gem really precisely, like really difficultly precisely, you can skip Knuckles with two Sky Gems.
Oh no, we've missed it. Rip.
You gonna try for it again?
I don't know. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
but if you miss it, essentially you actually have to restart the stage over because there's no checkpoints in between there.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
You have the time, by the way, to try it one more time. By the way, you easily have the time.
I'll try it one more time and I'm gonna get the checkpoint for safety.
Yeah. Again, unfortunately, a lot of the stuff in Sonic's story handles here, and just Blue Gem by kicking. Kicking preserves the momentum of whatever happens before it, but it keeps you in a straight line afterwards. So in order to kick really well...
Oh, rip.
Okay, so you guys gonna go normal now?
Yeah, I'm just gonna do it normally now. Yeah, this trick.
Yeah, so normally it's faster. This is the normal method.
I don't like this trick at all, but
it saves a second. It saves 1 second.
RTA that is, and yeah.
It saves 1 second.
And it's not even
the things we do for speedrunning, guys.
IGT. Also, we got a frame perfect drill.
Yeah. Oh, nice. So basically, the screwdriver there, as it's known, it's a move that you can do as Knuckles if you hold X and then release X. It's the fastest way to begin a glide, but it's obviously not the fastest way to... You can't continue it very far, so if you actually press A, the frame after it ends, your momentum of the screw attack is... Or, not screw attack. Screwdriver is this... Metroid is just Methless in disguise, okay? If you do the screwdriver... I almost said screw attack again. The screwdriver, essentially, you can preserve its momentum by pressing and holding A, like the frame right after it ends. It's not really required in any instance, but you know.
210. Wow.
210, nice for
IGT
even with the
practice, but still, because of that.
Yeah, 210 is still insane, honestly.
Yeah.
And now we have the final strat in Sonic's story. Also, nice D rank.
Egg Wyvern, you know that boss that
takes 5 minutes casually?
Yeah, that takes 5 minutes casually.
Do you guys just want to shift it? Maybe we take the 5 and like just push it somewhere else for now. Like take the 5, maybe push it to the 2nd digit. That would be kind of nice. You know, maybe if we could do that. I wonder if we could do that, Flubbler. Do you think we can do that?
Yeah, let's see. Let's try it. Let's do that. Let's see.
Let's see if we can take that digit and put it somewhere else. Also, I'll let you guys know when time is up. You should probably say it yourself.
And time.
There we go. Sonic Story MSG.
101.44 on my end.
Pretty good for a reset. And one of the biggest time loss was Flame Core. That would have been sub 1 if you didn't die.
Flame Core was like RNG, just no.
Yeah. That was
it's a Tails Wave Ocean goal regardless, so yeah.
So I should probably quickly explain the final boss before we head off and have our final comments. Final boss. So there's actually a dev trigger just left in the game. The dev trigger there, we determined it was a dev trigger. There are basically, in the win conditions for Egg Wyvern, it basically states boss is health depleted, or you hit the dev trigger. And the dev trigger is just hit in this way by basically hitting Sky Gemming earlier. Remember I mentioned the Sky Gem was an object. That means you can homing attack it. So you homing attack it for height to hit Egg Wyvern early, and then you use the Sky Gem itself to then get back onto the platform as you've already hit the horn. And once you've hit the horn, the game is then just like, here's this dev trigger. It appears above you. So then you Sky Gem to that dev trigger, and the boss is done. That is it. Well played, Flubbler. Well played. Yeah. Really well done. Honestly, again, this is equivalent to the practice.
This run was a 59 though, so I mean,
What's your sum of best now, if I may?
54.29.
Nice. That's
So that is
wow.
6 seconds off Nick's sum of best, and that's yeah, and that's
Those are all with slow loads as well. That's insane.
yeah. Considering I've gotten like insane fast loads before, that's like really hard to do.
For sure.
To be honest. So.
Anyways, that's the last Sonic game of the block, the best one to end with, I think.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
What a great end to the Sonic
Make sure to
block,
follow
honestly.
Flubbler for sure, and support Flubbler. Excellent, dude. Learning all the other stories in 06
I'm
moment as
gonna
well.
grind for the 55.
If you want, you can follow me. I guess I'm an oldie.
Yeah.
It's funny I say I'm the oldest, like, still active member of this community, and I'm like 19.
Well, yeah, because you started when you were like 12.
12. Yeah, I started at 12.
You're very young,
and you're 15,
so...
dude. So this dude's a prodigy. Truly amazing.
Nice smile.
I am so glad that he's joined our community, and honestly, anyone else welcome to join our community as well. We are open. We have a lot of resources. In fact, Flubbler just made a tutorial for this category.
Yeah, I just did make a tutorial, so yeah. And there's a lot of stuff.
Thank you guys so much for having us as well.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It was a lot of fun. This was a blast for me.
Hey,
Get
name
it?
drop.
No problem.
But
Thank
yeah.
you both so much. Very exciting run. Great way to finish off the Sonic block.
Obviously with Akon.
Yeah, Akon.
Akon.
Shoutouts to Akon.
Gotta have the Akon, who I added before I think the GDQ run. For one run, I added Akon saying, please don't, because Akon actually does the ending music for Sonic Story, and we're just like, please don't mute our VOD. please, Akon.
Yeah, and you tweeted at him, you were like, it's for charity.
Yeah.
And that was good. But yeah, thank you all for having me. It's been a really fun time. I'm so glad, be able to run this game again.
Yeah, Flubber, genuinely, really impressed with how far you've come in such time. Flubber is a living example of if you just put in the time and effort, you're gonna get anywhere. Because this dude is so amazing.
All right. Well, thank you both so much. An incredible run, and that does conclude the Sonic block. Next up, we have a mini X-Men block, starting with X-Men by Sepa 2. But I'll be heading out for a little bit. My hosting shift is over, but I'll see you all in a few hours for the end of the marathon. Much love. Thank you all for hanging out. And
thank you for being a wonderful host, Liz.
Yeah.
Of course. Thank you so much for the run. And we'll see you all soon. Have a good one.
See ya. Bye.